Melbourne need to win, but the Kangaroos got back on the winners list a couple of games ago against Adelaide before falling short against Geelong. So Dawes starts in the ruck, which we saw in the last quarter last week against Jackson, so that just adds to the intrigue. Goldstein not starting in the ruck, and Oliver gets the first disposal.
Brayshaw starting in the middle. He did a little bit of it last week, and he got right back into some form in the second half.
Yeah, there was
some, inside the square.
Some good signs for him, wasn't there? After a slow start even in that game. So, such is the compact nature of the footy. Vandenberg's come into this game with his head all wrapped up. There's not enough time between games even for the cuts to heal, and so that's necessary, obviously. The ball banged up. Stephen May leading with the fist. Now Dawes just gliding through. His kick just too strong for Zurhaar, who gives away the free.
Reversal, primitive contact.
It's a reversal.
Yeah, he gave him a whack when he was on the ground, which is a shame because it was a good setup, good intercept mark.
Well, let's see if they can leverage that. Zurhaar goes really wide, so Walker, who started...
Initial thought there wasn't a great deal in it from Harmford. Two players that definitely don't take a backward step.
Oh, really?
It wasn't.
D, see if they're organised or not.
Pollock, he got the reprieve after one match on the sidelines. Came in to get a lot. Oh, here's a chance for Dawes. Not too many better present themselves than that.
Out the back door, and Majak was all over. Let's see how it comes. It's from a stoppage. The stoppage coach at Melbourne would not be happy that Pollock just slid out the back, and then your one-armed attempt just presented the opportunity. Pollock, he's looking for some form. Only touched it 13 or 14 times last week after being dropped the previous week. Lever had the one.
Tomlinson there, who was on Majak Dawes, so he's got the mismatch.
He went there.
Trying to just squeeze one out. Well, they've got a goal.
Holding the man, North Melbourne.
He gets that opportunity tonight. The Kangaroos have started in a positive fashion. Larkey draws the prohibited contact to the wing. Nice little early touch there from Wiedemann on Mackay to get his bearings. Couldn't run onto it. He's led with the head there.
Basically led over the ball and kept on running. I'm not sure what...
Kangaroos this year. Access to the ball to Durden, but not for long. Oliver to Wiedemann, who continues to grow. And good delivery into the pocket.
Break. It's good to bring some energy back in.
Pickett can give them energy. But unfortunately it was extra because they both played on the same night. The Roos played the earlier game against Geelong. The Demons played the later one. No free kick to Fritsch. And that was just a little bit too casual through the middle. Marnie gets disposed of illegally. Football. His fifth disposal. They've turned it over, though, and not to a good man either if you're a Kangaroos fan, because Petrarca storming forward, searching kick. It's got through to Fritsch. He's got time, he's got space, and he's got not the accuracy is there to intervene. They can go in again. Had a short option in Wiedemann. It's Daniel Talia. It's part of their really strong finish to the game. He's definitely looked at a more cohesive forward line since he's been back in the team, and straight kicking is such a critical part.
Explains why they're not at the top end of the ladder.
Lever. Free kick goes to Larkey against Tomlinson. Well, that might be 50. Big game that was, though. One of the games of the season. North Melbourne have made the strong start here on the scoreboard. Larkey makes no mistake. Yeah, to a 9-point advantage.
Well, you saw just arm around. The umpires clearly, I reckon it was one of the rules of the week. They've been pretty hot on it. And there's no point pointing. You've got to accept that you've been outplayed. Pollock just sucked him in. And the 50...
He's going to win it out of the middle. Majak getting there quickly. Jamont, Anderson, now Pollock trying to wade off the tacklers. He did it with some success, moved it forward. Jamont had got it going. Pittard, who we've seen in the front half of the ground a fair bit in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Find a way to a good start.
7 goals, 9 in front of goal. So he's a beautiful looking kick, not always an accurate one. That fits the bill. It's away to the left. Years ago, he really looked like he could be something for the D's. High ball to Wiedemann, he got a piece of it, so did Majak Dormani. Got the hands free, was that a handball? Play on the call, Pickett pouncing, and kicks a goal! Somehow.
Hold of it. It all started with Mitch Hannon again. He's been the guy that looks as if he's most on top of his game. He's had plenty of teammates who aren't. Petrarca's had plenty of it, but this one just bobbled around, and it was a question of who was going to get it. That was a very unfortunate that wasn't paid for a free kick. But the tackle didn't stick, and Pickett made them pay.
It's just the small things there with Pickett. He actually led to the near pocket the short side of the ground, realised that he wasn't going to get used. He didn't follow through his lead and say, hey, why not me? Double back, got back involved. And whether this was holding the ball or not,
well,
wasn't paid.
Correct. So what about that sidestep, though? He's a beauty.
One neutral result now. Dumont can turn it into something. Floating handball by Goldstein. Didn't really help his teammates. Build up. McMillan thought he could slide through. Off the left. Goldstein competed. Marnie stripped of it. And that's penalised.
Well, that's the sort of pressure that Melbourne need to...
Had to go back on his initial decision. Oh, that's vicious. Zerha only knows one way. It went unwhistled. The Kangaroos take it away smartly anyway. And Hall hits Marnie inside 50.
What a big tackle of the year.
With intent, we've seen Zerha. He can be a wrecking ball. Hall off balance. Tough to kick a goal from there and swatted.
I'll have a look at that one. You don't see many tackles stick like that and flip them up.
Rivers. Who's going to be tackled straight away. Good momentum on the kick forward from Fritsch. And it's a positive start from Bonnet. He's got a free out of this one. Through Salem's hands to Melksham, and then forward again to Brayshaw. Kicked it at the perfect moment and delivered it to the perfect spot. And the 7-6 for the season, but what a year he's having. 6 disposals to start the night as we get close to quarter time. Still, as you can see, just over 2 minutes remaining in the opening term, and he fell right off that one. So Melbourne 1-4-10. Pickett from behind, McDonald stood his ground and was good enough to get a clearing kick, but Vandenberg wasn't waiting after taking the mark. He was just harassed enough to...
Just going back to the Vandenberg issue, when he really just undid all his good work, taking the contested mark. That's holding the ball, surely. No.
Well, the hands were loose enough in the end. Oliver's took it anyway. Melbourne go forward, genuine one-on-one. McMillan all over Petrarca, not going to stop him. Oh, was that a legal disposal? Reading the handball to Goldie, who was out of bounds, but the ball wasn't.
100 centimetres. Nothing wrong with Goldie, but it's probably not your preferred option.
Pittard. Combat up against 2 or 3 Ds, and that's high as well. So, genuine late opportunity here for Zerha. A little bit of a scratch on the chin. It's the set-up kick. Top of the square. And Larky's got it. And that would be a very satisfying result for the Kangaroos. They lead by 10 points, so it's well and truly game on. Tarrant read the incoming ball well, didn't take the mark. Bonner versus Pickett. And have Melbourne going forward. Pickett. Well, his own teammate was going hard the other way, Wiedemann. The backup arrived from Sparrow and then Hibbert again. Their hands were okay, but in the end it went straight to Tomlinson. Harms stripped of it. North are putting good pressure on, but Melbourne see it out this time. Nathan Jones angled the kick to Wiedemann, who was well guided, so opportunities now presenting on the way forward. Hannon for Brayshaw. Gets to the 50, has a look around at the last moment. He saw Pickett, but in the hesitation, he got himself into trouble and couldn't get out.
Melbourne are in the reverse. Well, this is a pretty open game that North Melbourne are playing. They're unable to, or they're just able to do it without the pressure, and they'll be thrilled with that run from behind tackle.
Hall was paralysed. Has he got the touch on the kick? No. McDonald with the fist. Pollock overran it. Nathan Jones, the ball so quickly onto the boot. Gets it forward on the bounce. Melksham turning to Jones. Put him on a path to goal. Nathan Jones, high and long. Wiedemann.
Well, Lever is really starting to show his very best form, and he's the reason they're having this shot at goal. It was brilliantly read. Good kick from Jones, and the finish obviously going to get through.
And it does.
Kick in reality. I mean, it just had to go somewhere. And Lever just read it like a book. And then I liked his kick. He had 2 or 3 looks at it. It wasn't perfect, but it was no real pressure. And then the kick from Jones, well, it was either going to go through the sticks or Wiedemann was going to get a decent look at it, and he did.
Just that subtle little bit of body work there. Just
it was well done.
Nudge back into Mackay. Either the mark.
And here's just charge ahead, Petrarca. Spargo to the square again. The weed, he's got it.
And this has been more like it from a Melbourne perspective.
So, as I mentioned earlier, 10 goals, 4 from 5 games coming in, averaging 2 goals a game. He hasn't got his 2 goals yet. He should have from there. Forming Kangaroos numbers. Hall gave to Marnie, not to the right place though. And they'll leave their ends are free. Can they start again? Well, it opens up for Anderson. And again, Pickett was there to intervene. Suddenly it's going Melbourne's way. McDonald, Spargo screaming for it. He wanted it a bit further out in front. It slowed them down, but it didn't stop them reaching Wiedemann.
Well, they need to address that, Roo, because that's probably 3 times now that's been a problem for them in this term.
Well, their main issue has been kicking for goal, the D's tonight, and ups.
Well, they just can't get it inside their forward 50 to get some relief.
Jones went searching for the right option. Was it Brayshaw? It most certainly was. A sweeping long bomb from Angus Brayshaw. Jones fed it back by 5 points.
It was only a matter of time, Jared. They've had the play in their forward half. They are a forward half-based team. They finally just give themselves a tiny bit of space. Jones, who didn't do anything in the first quarter, gets his hands on his football. And what a lovely finish from outside 50. A man that should be getting a bit more opportunity tonight. Time inside as an on-baller.
He's had 7 disposals just in this quarter. When I say the D's have dominated him, he's been a good player in this quarter. High ball. Tarrant's a target for everyone, but stood his ground as he has. Out to Simpkin. Serha, there's a bit of... He's going to pay the mark.
Oh, absolutely. 40-odd more times.
And over the Kangaroos will get an opportunity. Majak gives it plenty. It's 2-on-1 in North's favour. So it was tough for Maeve. He didn't take it cleanly. Walker just had to get it to Larkey. And he kicks his 3rd goal. Or does he?
Review underway.
Doesn't look like it's hit fingertips, does it?
Not obviously. So this is the flip side. This is when it doesn't pay off. And this is what it does when they get through that initial line of defence. There's Lever at the top of screen. Doesn't quite get there as Rivers tries to support him as well. There he's at the top of screen. So it's brave when he goes forward and gets his hands on the footy.
To Jones, initial fumble, didn't completely recover. Langdon with 15 seconds to go. Wiedemann's got there again. He removed Mackay. But nothing is certain with Sam Wiedemann in front of goal tonight. 1 goal 3 to give Melbourne back the lead. Yes, he has.